Hi folks, Smudge here and welcome to Mastering in the Box, your home for simple guidance on digital mastering and digital audio. Now I frequently asked the question, what is my favourite plugin for mastering? And I don't actually have a mastering chain or a go-to chain that I use on a regular basis. And the reason for this is I don't know what plugins I'm going to be using on a daily basis given the song that I'm going to be mastering. But there are a few go-tos, and whilst it's easy to jump on a digital recreation of an analog unit, I don't always take that approach. And one of my favourite plugins is this, it's the Slice EQ by KILOHEARTS. Why is this particular plugin one of my favourites? Well, not only is it super versatile, it's easy to use, but it gives you a great frame of reference to let you know where you are at any moment of your mastering session. What do I mean by this? Well, quite simply, here on the left hand side we've got different modes that we can use. So this particular mode here will let you edit both channels, i.e. stereo. This particular icon here will let you edit the MIDI channel only, and this here focuses on the sides. So it gives you a great way to do mid-side processing. First up, let's take a look at the different types of EQ we can do. And in this particular mode, by default, it's going to go into auto mode. But we have the ability to do low cut filters, high cut filters, low shelves, high shelves, and then peak filters and notch filters. But let's say default mode, it's auto. And what does auto mean? Well, if I go down to the frequency line here, what this is going to do is it's going to change based on where you are in the frequency range, and it's going to change based on what it perceives to be the most common uses of EQ in that area. So if we go right down to the low end here, it's going to default to a low cut filter, then going to move into a low shelf filter. And then for the majority of the frequency range, it's going to give you your peak filters, and then moving into a high shelf filter, and then a higher cut filter right at the end here. So it's going to give you all different features and options based on where you are in that frequency range. Now let's take a look at some of the mid-side processing we can do using this plugin. And let's take a look at the icons on the left-hand side. So this icon here, as I said before, this is editing both channels, i.e. stereo, and it's colour-coded white. If we click on this one, this edits the mid channel only and it's colour coded blue. And this one here, it edits the side channels only and it's colour coded yellow. And this is how it gives you a great frame of reference to let you know what moves you've done at any one moment in time. So let's say I want to do a low cut filter on the stereo field overall. I can go to the low cut filter, click here, and it's now applied a low cut filter. But let's say I want to do a low shelf to boost some of the lows on the mid frequencies only. I click here for the mid channel, I can click here for a low shelf, click where I want the low shelf to begin, and I can move it up, and I've now got a low shelf on the mid frequencies only, and it's colour coded blue. But let's say I just want to go to the sides, want to create a bit of stereo width, and I just want to boost the high frequencies on the sides only. I then click on this side channel, click on a high shelf, click where I want it to be, and then move it up. And as you can see, there's three different moves here that are all colour coded. We've got the low cut, which applies to both the mids and sides, i.e. stereo. We've got the low shelf, which applies to the mid frequencies only. And we've got a high shelf, which applies to the side frequencies only. So it's colour coded to let you know where you are and what moves you've made in the stereo field at any one moment in time. Another cool feature about this plugin is it hides a lot of the information to allow you a less cumbersome interface. But let's say I want to go in and do some real nuanced moves. I can click on the filters section here and it's give you some more granular detail on the moves you're making. So let's say I want to take our low cut and I want to actually move the cutoff, I can do that here. And let's say I want to change the cue details, I can do that here. And let's say I want to change this low cut and just want to focus on the mid frequencies only, I can just click that and do that here. And you can do this for any different move that you make. So we've got the low shelf and we've got the high shelf details here. And we can go on and do some real nuanced moves. And when we want to hide that information, we just click on this little arrow again and it's going to hide that filter box to give us a less cumbersome interface. Another cool feature of this plugin is the zoom function. And when it comes to mastering, quite often we're only doing small moves, plus or minus 3 dBs at a max, and sometimes often much more nuanced, maybe half a dB here or half a dB there. And as you can see, if we look at the right hand side, it gives us plus or minus 12 dBs. But if we go to the magnifying glass here and go into the zoom function, I can then click anywhere in the user interface and start to zoom in. So if I want to get a much more nuanced view, I can do that by zooming in here. And if it gets a little bit crowded down the bottom, you go to the actual decibel meter here on the right hand side and just drag that up, and it can give you a much more nuanced view. But you can do this on both axes. So let's say I want to actually zoom in on the horizontal axis, I can then click in the middle and just drag left or right and can really zoom in to see what I'm doing. So it's just a much more useful way to get some more nuanced EQ moves if you want to do some real subtle stuff for mastering. And for my last favourite feature, it's got a great A/B-ing tool. So let's say rather than bypassing the plugin, I can just quickly change from A mode to B mode here, and it's going to do a before and after. But let's just say I like A, but it's not quite where I want it to be. But rather than adjusting the parameters and trying to remember where you are beforehand, I can now go click copy to B, and when I go to B here, you'll see it's actually duplicated what we've done on A. And then I can go here and I can make some fine adjustments. Let's say I want to do one here on the mids, I want to do one here on the stereo, and let's just say I want to take the actual low shelf down a bit. Let's take the gain down like that. Great. Now what I want to do is do a comparison before and after. I can now click A and B and do a good comparison to let me know what effect those changes have made on the overall stereo field. So those are a few of the reasons why this is one of my favourite plugins and one of my go-tos for EQ when it comes to mastering. It's super simple to use, it's really easy to understand, and it gives you a great frame of reference to let you know what EQ moves you're doing at any one moment in time and whereabouts they feature in the stereo field. At the time of recording this video, it is on sale for $79. I believe that's the regular price. Just for awareness, this is not affiliated. I've not been asked by Kilohearts to make this video, but this is one of my favourite plugins, and I really would recommend you check this out for your mixing and mastering uses moving forward. So that's it for today's video, and I hope you found it useful. This is a great plugin. It's certainly one of my go-tos, and I would highly recommend you check it out. As per normal, if you want to know more about digital mastering, digital audio, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and make sure you tick that bell and select all to receive notifications on all of our videos moving forward. And at the end of this video, I'm going to give you some recommendations of some other videos that I've done which I think you will find really useful. So all that's left for me to say is I hope you'll keep safe and well, and I'll see you in the next video coming real soon.